For years, Meghan Markle has been a figure both adored and vilified, a woman whose every decision, every movement, and every association has been scrutinized under the unforgiving glare of public attention. Yet despite decades of fame, the narrative around her life has always been incomplete, carefully curated, and often aggressively defended. Until now, enter Joe Rogan, the outspoken voice who has never shied away from the stories mainstream media often tiptoe around. Known for his relentless pursuit of truth, his conversations pierce the glossy facade celebrities build around themselves, and in this case, he has reportedly obtained files that Meghan Markle hoped would remain buried forever, the so-called Yacht Files. Allegedly containing details from a chapter of her life that has been erased, rewritten, and fiercely protected, these documents have sparked a firestorm of speculation. The files supposedly reveal connections, events, and associations that contrast sharply with the carefully polished image presented since she first captured the world's attention. What makes this revelation explosive is not simply the existence of the documents, but the timing of their emergence, surfacing just as global attention had shifted elsewhere, offering a rare window into a private history previously thought lost. From rumors of lavish social circles and mysterious trips to interactions with powerful figures aboard luxury yachts, the material allegedly exposes a side of Meghan Markle that her team spent years trying to control, sanitize, and ultimately delete. Rogan's involvement has intensified the story, bringing it to audiences who trust his perspective and are accustomed to hearing stories untold, unsanitized, and unfiltered. And while the media cycles endlessly debate, dissect, and misinterpret, the files themselves, the evidence, the documents, and the photographs are said to speak louder than commentary, suggesting a life lived in the glare of privilege, secrecy, and ambition. What is in these files? Who is implicated? And how do they change the story we thought we knew about the Duchess of Sussex? Each revelation seems calculated to challenge a narrative carefully constructed over the last decade, a narrative of resilience, reinvention, and meticulous image management. Rogan's declassification of these documents, whether intentional or inadvertent, forces a confrontation with a past that Meghan Markle can no longer fully control. Across interviews, podcasts, and media appearances, commentators have speculated, mocked, and questioned, but the authenticity of primary documents carries a weight no spin can override. The resurfacing of these files coincides eerily with other royal controversies, reigniting debates, polarizing audiences, and compelling the public to reassess everything previously assumed about her pre-royal life. Rumors of yacht connections, elite gatherings, and secret relationships have circulated online for years, often dismissed as baseless gossip. Yet the existence of these files suggests that some threads of truth may have been obscured deliberately. Rogan's role is not merely as a narrator but as a disruptor, a figure whose engagement in the story transforms it from speculative chatter into a potential expose, giving audiences access to a narrative previously locked away, censored, or erased. And while Meghan Markle has maintained her silence, the calm, calculated public persona of the Duchess, Rogan's revelations crack open the carefully sealed past, challenging assumptions, sparking debates, and shining a spotlight into corners many hoped would remain dark. For viewers, this is more than celebrity gossip. It is a study of image, influence, and power, of what happens when private lives intersect with public curiosity, and of the consequences when history cannot be rewritten. As the story unfolds, questions multiply. How will Markle respond? What truth lies within these declassified documents? And can any amount of spin undo the weight of evidence now seemingly exposed? This is a moment in history that blends culture, royalty, media, and raw human ambition, a collision of narratives, personalities, and secrets that refuses to fade quietly into rumor. Whether you see it as reckoning, revelation, or reinvention, one thing is certain: the Yacht Files have changed the conversation. From carefully curated headlines to the viral explosion of social media speculation, the world is now watching as Meghan Markle's past is brought to light in ways she never anticipated. And at the center of it all stands Joe Rogan, whose willingness to confront controversy head-on has turned a story long whispered in shadows into a topic impossible to ignore. What was once hidden, deleted, and suppressed is now under scrutiny. And for the first time, the world may be seeing Meghan Markle's story in an unvarnished form. Unfiltered, unedited, and unforgettable. For years, Meghan Markle has existed in the spotlight as a figure of fascination, a woman whose life has been dissected, debated, and analyzed at a level few could comprehend. Every choice she made, every word she spoke, and every photograph that surfaced became a chapter in a story the world felt it had the right to write. Yet, beneath the carefully curated public image lies a past that has been contested, rewritten, and fiercely defended. Until now, enter Joe Rogan. Known as a relentless seeker of stories mainstream media avoids, a man whose podcast has become synonymous with untamed curiosity and bold discourse, Rogan has reportedly obtained what many believed lost forever, Meghan Markle's so-called Yacht Files. These files, declassified in what some are calling a revelation of historical and cultural significance, allegedly illuminate a period of her life that was erased, edited, or intentionally scrubbed from public record. Details that have long circulated as rumor or speculation now carry the gravitas of documented evidence, leaving audiences and critics alike questioning the narratives they once accepted. The timing could not be more significant. As the world's attention focused elsewhere, these files emerged like a spotlight on a stage, illuminating a chapter of Meghan's life shrouded in secrecy. Rumors about luxury yachts, high-profile social circles, and elite gatherings have swirled for years, dismissed by some as idle gossip. But the emergence of purported documents, photos, correspondences, and travel logs suggests there may have been more truth to these stories than previously believed. Rogan's involvement adds a unique dimension. As someone unafraid to challenge the curated narrative celebrities often rely on, his declassification of these files transforms a story once confined to whispers into a public spectacle. And make no mistake, the documents reportedly contain names, places, and encounters that could reshape how the world understands Meghan Markle before her marriage to Prince Harry. What do these files reveal? According to sources, they document a lifestyle far more connected to privilege, influence, and elite access than the public has been led to believe. Yacht excursions, parties attended by some of the wealthiest individuals in the world, and social interactions that align with the lives of Hollywood's inner circles paint a picture of a young actress navigating ambition, opportunity, and power in ways that are rarely discussed. And yet, these revelations come amid an ongoing struggle to control narrative and public perception. Meghan's life, carefully curated since her first major acting roles, has been marked by a series of strategic moves, public relations campaigns, and, above all, silence in response to controversy. But silence, as history has shown, often invites further scrutiny. Joe Rogan's commentary on the matter has reignited public fascination, giving a voice to questions many had long been afraid or unwilling to ask. What was Meghan's role in these circles? Who did she interact with? And what influence did these interactions have on the trajectory of her life and career? For years, speculation remained the only form of engagement, with rumors spreading online, fueled by images, half-truths, and commentary designed to attract clicks. Now, with the alleged release of these files, speculation is colliding with the potential for verifiable evidence, turning online chatter into a debate with tangible stakes. The broader context of this revelation cannot be ignored. The resurfacing of these documents coincides with ongoing controversies within the British royal family, including the lingering fallout from Prince Andrew's scandals and the intense media scrutiny of King Charles III's reign. In this climate, attention to Meghan Markle's past is both amplified and complicated. Analysts studying media behavior suggest that high-profile stories like this often emerge at precise moments to redirect focus, to capitalize on global curiosity, or to unsettle public perceptions of already powerful figures. Whether intentional or coincidental, the timing of Rogan's declassification could not be more impactful. Rogan himself has cultivated a reputation as a provocateur, someone whose platform thrives on uncovering the unexpected, the uncomfortable, and the controversial. From his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, to stand-up specials and interviews, he has repeatedly tackled subjects others avoid, drawing audiences who demand unfiltered, unmediated truth. In this case, his involvement has amplified the significance of the Yacht Files, elevating what could have been a niche celebrity rumor into a global conversation about privacy, reputation, and the ethics of information disclosure. Meanwhile, Meghan Markle's critics have wasted no time seizing on the story. Across late-night shows, podcasts, and social media platforms, the narrative has been dissected, mocked, and scrutinized. Comedians, political commentators, and former colleagues have all added their voices, framing the story within wider conversations about celebrity accountability, media manipulation, and the intersection of personal history with public perception. Every joke, every commentary, every speculative tweet contributes to a relentless cycle of attention that Meghan Markle has navigated with remarkable composure, even as the storm surrounding her life intensifies. Yet, as compelling as the present is, understanding the past is crucial. Before stepping into the royal spotlight, Meghan Markle's life was marked by ambition, opportunity, and calculated discretion. The Yacht Files reportedly shed light on aspects of that life which she may have hoped would never surface. Connections, encounters, and experiences that reveal a more complex narrative than the one publicly acknowledged. Friends, acquaintances, and professional associates may now find themselves part of a story that has remained untold for years, their roles suddenly illuminated in ways that cannot be undone. And it's not just the files themselves that matter. The public response has been a story in its own right. Social media has erupted, debates have intensified, and cultural commentators are once again revisiting long-held assumptions about Meghan Markle, her motivations, and her influence. Questions about her agency, her choices, and her strategic management of public perception dominate conversations online. Analysts note that in an era of instantaneous news cycles and viral social media commentary, stories like this can define legacies, influence public opinion, and shape historical memory in ways never seen before. Through it all, Rogan remains at the center, a figure whose willingness to confront controversy head-on has made him both a lightning rod and a critical player in the unfolding narrative. His declassification of the Yacht Files forces a confrontation with history that Meghan Markle can no longer fully control. And for viewers, what emerges is more than celebrity gossip. It is a study of image, influence, and power, a meditation on the consequences when personal history intersects with public fascination, and a reminder that in the modern media landscape, the past rarely stays hidden forever as the story unfolds. One question looms larger than any other. How will Meghan Markle respond? Her silence has been her shield, her strategy, and her statement. But the weight of evidence now exposed in the Yacht Files challenges even the most carefully constructed narratives. The files, whether they fully validate long-standing rumors or simply complicate them, have transformed speculation into documented inquiry, raising ethical, cultural, and personal questions that demand answers. For Joe Rogan, it is yet another moment to confront power, challenge narrative, and present audiences with material few others dare to explore. And so the world watches. The Duchess of Sussex, the royal family, and Joe Rogan, a trio of influence, curiosity, and controversy intersect at a moment that promises to redefine what we thought we knew about celebrity, legacy, and the boundaries between public and private life. The story of Meghan Markle, once carefully controlled, is now exposed to a new form of scrutiny, amplified by a voice unafraid of conflict, unafraid of rumor, and unafraid to confront the untold chapters of history. The Yacht Files may be just a beginning, a doorway into truths long obscured, stories long silenced, and a narrative that refuses to be contained. And as audiences around the world digest, debate, and discuss, one reality becomes clear. The past is never truly gone, and in the age of information, it is only a matter of time before secrets surface, reputations are tested, and history writes itself in ways no one can predict. For decades, Meghan Markle's life has been a magnet for curiosity, speculation, and relentless scrutiny. From her early days in Los Angeles navigating the competitive world of acting, to stepping onto the global stage as a Duchess of the British royal family, every aspect of her journey has been examined under a microscope. Yet, as we peel back the layers of her life, a pattern emerges, a story not entirely told, a past not fully revealed, and questions that refuse to fade into Joe Rogan. Over the years, Rogan has earned a reputation for fearlessly exploring controversial topics, diving into areas that mainstream media often avoids, and challenging narratives that others take for granted. His podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, has become a platform where unfiltered dialogue reigns supreme, where whispers transform into conversation, and where curiosity trumps censorship. And now, Rogan has reportedly obtained what has become known as Meghan Markle's Yacht Files, documents and materials previously hidden, suppressed, or erased from public memory. The very existence of these files challenges the sanitized story many believed about Meghan's early life, hinting at encounters, connections, and experiences that were carefully managed and perhaps intentionally obscured. The Yacht Files, as they are being described, allegedly document Meghan's involvement in elite social circles, luxury yacht excursions, and exclusive gatherings frequented by some of the most powerful individuals in Hollywood and beyond. These files reportedly contain photographs, travel itineraries, and correspondence that illuminate a side of Meghan Markle that mainstream narratives rarely acknowledge. For years, gossip and rumor attempted to fill these gaps. Stories of glamorous parties, yachts moored in Mediterranean harbors, and connections to figures whose names are synonymous with influence. But now, what was once speculation is poised to enter the realm of documented history, that it is impossible to discuss these revelations without considering timing. As the British royal family grapples with ongoing controversies, including Prince Andrew's public disgrace and the scrutiny of King Charles III's leadership, the resurfacing of Meghan Markle's past cannot be viewed in isolation. Media analysts note a pattern. High-profile revelations often emerge during periods of distraction, designed or coincidental, that redirect attention while intensifying curiosity. The re-emergence of Meghan's story coincides with global debates about celebrity influence, media manipulation, and the power of social perception. In this context, Rogan's declassification of the Yacht File transforms a celebrity rumor into a discussion of public accountability, historical narrative, and ethical storytelling. Consider the broader implications. Social media has exploded with speculation, debate, and commentary. Every detail in the alleged files, the names, the dates, the locations, has been dissected by armchair investigators and cultural commentators alike. Analysts argue that these revelations underscore a critical truth about modern celebrity. The past is never truly private, and in the age of digital permanence, secrets can surface long after they were meant to disappear. For Meghan Markle, a figure whose life has been meticulously curated, these revelations represent both a challenge and an opportunity. To remain silent is a strategy that has worked in the past, but with the weight of alleged documents now in the public domain, silence may no longer suffice. Rogan's involvement adds a dramatic dimension to the story. Known for his incisive commentary and irreverent humor, he has repeatedly challenged public figures, scrutinized media narratives, and brought underreported stories into the mainstream. In this case, he positions himself as both investigator and narrator, framing the Yacht Files not just as celebrity gossip, but as a lens through which we can examine broader cultural phenomena, ambition, power, influence, and the tension between public image and private reality. His commentary amplifies the stakes, turning what could have been a passing news item into a narrative with lasting resonance. And then there's a ripple effect across media, entertainment, and politics. Late-night hosts, comedians, and journalists have all weighed in, some with humor, some with biting critique. The interplay between entertainment and commentary magnifies every aspect of Meghan Markle's story. Late-night shows highlight moments from her public appearances, turning minutiae into conversation. Political commentators question the influence of celebrity culture on public perception. Journalists dissect timelines, attempting to reconcile rumor with evidence. Social media, of course, is relentless, a feedback loop of speculation, analysis, and outrage that ensures the story never truly dies. Yet, beneath the spectacle lies a deeply human narrative. Meghan Markle, like any individual thrust into extraordinary circumstances, navigates a complex interplay between identity, privacy, and power. Her early years, now illuminated in part by the alleged Yacht Files, reveal ambition, strategy, and agency. They also raise questions. How do individuals manage personal history when every choice is subject to public scrutiny? What does it mean to craft a public persona while protecting the private self? And, perhaps most pressing, how much of what we perceive is reality, and how much is constructed narrative? The timing of these revelations also intersect with broader societal trends. In an era defined by instant access to information, digital permanence, and the virality of online discourse, no story remains static. Past rumors, once confined to gossip columns and niche forums, now explode into public conversation with a velocity that is unprecedented. The Yacht Files illustrate this phenomenon perfectly. Documents that might have remained obscure decades ago are now capable of reshaping public understanding in real time. Critics and supporters alike are forced to confront uncomfortable questions. For some, the file confirmed long-held suspicions, validating narratives previously dismissed as rumor. For others, they challenge assumptions, prompting reconsideration of character, choices, and context. And for Meghan Markle herself, the implications are profound. Every decision, past and present, is now subject to renewed analysis. Every relationship, every trip, every connection documented in these files becomes a piece of a puzzle whose full picture remains